The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
This camp, you British prisoners have been chosen to build a bridge across the River Kwai. If you work hard, you will be treated well. But if you do not work hard, you will be punished.
Go on without me. That's an order.
You make me sick with your heroics. There's a stench of death about you. You carry it in your pack like the plague. You and that Colonel Nicholson, you're two of a kind. Crazy with courage. For what? How to die like a gentleman. How to die by the rules. When the only important thing is how to live like a human being.
My name is Nicholson.
Give me the book.
Well, by all means. You read English, I take it.
Do you read Japanese?
I'm sorry, no. But if it's a matter of precise translation, I'm sure that can be arranged. You see, the code specifically states that the...
Kill him! Kill him!
Could have done it. I was ready. Let's go.
Bridge on the River Kwai, played against the naked canvas of war. Here is a vast panorama of human emotions, the courage and dignity of men who fight for their convictions, the humor of soldiers in the midst of tragedy.
I thought you were the enemy, sir.
Well, I'm an American, if that's what you mean.
The tenderness that springs from the heart.
You're lovely.
The beauty and brutality that is war on an island in the jungle. The Bridge on the River Kwai is a motion picture achievement by a combination of brilliant creative talent. Produced by Sam Spiegel, who gave you The African Queen and On the Waterfront. Directed by David Lean, who made Brief Encounter and Great Expectations.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo.
And I'm your co-host, Kyle.
Kyle, today we'll be talking about one of the greatest movies of all time, Actually ranks number 36 on the AFI's top 100 movies of all time.
Wow.
Of course, it is The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Not over the River Kwai, on the River Kwai.
Right. Kyle, this is my first time ever watching this movie. What about you?
Probably my 6th or 7th round of the time.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it probably half a dozen times probably. Yeah. So, yeah, I've seen it quite a few times. Yeah. Good movie, great movie.
It's very, it's very demanding. It's a
brutal film.
Yeah. And we'll get to it. But Kyle, before we get started, I would take the easy way out and say, hey, what's your favorite Alec Guiness movie? Because he starred, not named Star Wars. Let's do that.
Not named Star Wars. How many other movies did he even have? At that point?
He was in Lawrence of Arabia.
But past Lawrence of Arabia and Star Wars, I don't know many other roles he was actually in, so it's hard to say. I just kind of have to go with Lawrence of Arabia, but not even Star Wars.
We need to.
I know he's a great actor, but I don't know many of the roles he did.
We need to do a deeper dive on him because I'm sure he's done a lot. I guess he was in a bunch of comedies too. I did not know that.
I'm sure he's a good actor. So yeah. But actually,
but he hated Star Wars. I know he hated the Star Wars.
This is actually my favorite Alec Guiness role in the whole movie, even over Star Wars.
Fantastic in this, yes.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, let's go ahead and get started because this is going to be a little bit longer. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I got a feeling too. So, okay, I'll just dive right into it here, Jimbo. We have the Bridge on the River Kwai, released on December 14th, 1957. Follows the story of British POWs who are forced to build a railway bridge across the River Kwai for their Japanese captors in occupied Burma, not knowing that the Allied forces are actually planning a daring commando raid through the jungle to destroy it. This film was directed by David Lean. The original story was written by Peter Boyle for the original book title of the book, which translated in English would be The Bridge over the River Kwai, but for the film itself is named Bridge on the River Kwai. And the screenplay was also adapted by Carl Foreman and Michael Wilson. For the composer, we have Malcolm Arnold, and cinematography was by Jack Hildyard. Moving on to the budget of the film, this film had a budget of just $3 million for 1957. So that's actually kind of expensive for the time, but for the scope of this film seems positively modest, considering they built a literal bridge and then destroyed a literal bridge for this film.
And they bought a train.
And a train.
And destroyed
the train. $3 million, you would think that that would barely cover anything. But when adjusted for inflation, that comes out to $32.9 million today, which still, I don't know how you would afford half the things you got in this film done. So that's some pretty incredible filmmaking for the most part for the producers of this film. Gross you have to go gross worldwide because the international market just wasn't as big as it was now. So gross worldwide, we have a gross of $27.2 million. Adjusted for inflation, that's almost 10 times that, well, more than 10 times that amount at $298.5 million today. So big money, huge earnings on this film alone. So incredible for that scenario too. Moving on, we're going to check on some of the awards here, which I've got to look up again. Oh my gosh, I've got to look up the awards.
Kyle, you're terrible.
So I'm going to look that up real quick and pull it up for you too. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you some of the technical details, such as this has a runtime of 161 minutes for its whole runtime there. So pretty long for the time, especially. But pretty, in keeping with the scope of this epic film. Sound mix is a 70mm 6-track audio recording and a 4-track stereo for its public distribution home video market. Bridge over River Kwai Awards, pulling it up now. Good. Film is filmed in Technicolor, that's why we have those bright, vibrant colors that are so good and lost today, unfortunately. And aspect ratio is 2.55 by 1, which is a very aggressive, very wide camera aspect ratio. Gives you wide looks of huge vistas going on in the scenes there too. Film length is a whopping Christopher Walking here, a whopping 4,415 meters. Huge film. Huge. Mistake. Now I'm thinking of Pretty Woman now. And process was digital intermediate for a 4K remaster that came out in just 2017. So that's pretty cool there. So we've done a lot of good keeping work for that whole film. Okay, I'm going to dive into the awards here, which there are many plentiful awards for such a great movie. So for 1953, we have a winner for Best Picture, award to Sam Spiegel. Winner Oscar for the Best Actor in a Leading Role to Alec Guiness. Nominee for Best Actor in a Supporting Role was for Sesu Hayakawa for his role as what was the role's name? Colonel Saito. Thank you, Jimbo, very much. Colonel Saito. Yep. And next up, we have the 1958 Oscar winner for Best Director to David Lean. Then next up for the 1958 Oscar winner for Best Writing or Screenplay based on material from another medium, awarded to Peter Boyle, Carl Foreman, and Michael Wilson. Then we... Oh, gosh, I just hit a link by accident. Hit me with the links. Then we also have a winner for Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, and Best Music and Scoring. Yep. Next up for the BAFTA Awards in 1958, we have Best British Actor awarded to Alec Guiness, Best British Film, and Best British Screenplay, and finally Best Film from Any Source for the BAFTA Awards there. Then for the British Society of Cinematographers, we have the 1958 winner for Best Cinematography Award to Jack Hildyard. Then for the David D. Donatello Awards, we have the winner for the Best Foreign Production Awards to Sam Spiegel. Then for the 1958 winner for the Directors Guild of America Awards for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in a Motion Picture, we have awarded to David Lean. Then for the 1958 Golden Globes Award, we have the awards for Best Motion Picture in a Drama category, Best Actor in a Drama category, awarded to Alec Guiness, Best Supporting Actor to Setsu Hayakawa for his role as Colonel Saito. I'm going to say it again so I can get the pronunciation hopefully as non-butchered as possible. And also the winner for Best Director, awarded to David Lean. Then we have the Golden Screen Awards for Germany in 1984, where it won the award for Golden Screen with 1 star, and the regular Golden Screen Award. Then for the Grammy Awards, it was a nominee for the 1959 Best Soundtrack Album or Dramatic Picture Score for the original cast, for Malcolm Arnold. Then for the 1958 Laurel Awards, it won the award for Top Drama and Top Male Dramatic Performance to Alec Guiness. Then for the National Board of Review in the USA of 1957, it won the award for Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Top 10 Films of the Year Award. Then for the 1997 winner, it was added to the National Film Registry, to the National Film Preservation Board, so now it's part of the National Film Preservatory, where it will be, presumably preserved for all time, hopefully. Then for the New York Film Circle Critics Circle Awards, it was the winner for the 1957 Best Film, Best Director, and Best Actor. Then the St. George Awards, it won the award for Best Foreign Actor, awarded to Alec Guiness. DVD exclusive rewards for the DVD re-release in 2001, where it had the Best DVD Menu Design and Best DVD Original Retrospective or Documentary Featurette, awarded to Lornette Bozaria for the making of the Bridge on the River Kwai documentary in the DVD special mission itself. Cool. I wonder if I can find that on YouTube somewhere, or find a DVD I can track down. It'd be cool to see. Or maybe it's part of the special features I never saw on the video. I don't know. I have to look up stuff. Yep. Next up for the Online Film Television Awards, it won the 2013 Motion Picture Awards for the Film Hall of Fame, where it was inducted to the Film Hall of Fame for the Online Film and Television Association. And that concludes the awards for the Bridge on the River Kwai. I had to go mix up a little format there because I look at my phone instead of having it printed out for me. But we got through it, and that's good. And now we can move on to the cast, which we have an amazing all-star cast there as well. So, first up, we have William Holden playing the role of Shears. William Holden was the main star of a film we've just covered very recently, Sunset Boulevard in 1950. So he's the main actor in there too. And he's also in the film Stalag 17 in 1953 as well. Then next up, we have the legendary Alec Guiness playing the role of Colonel Nicholson. Alec Guiness, of course, was easily recognizable as the original Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars Episode 1, A New Hope, and, of course, the other 2 sequels after that. So that's him there for Alec Guinness's, easily his most iconic role for what most people know. And this role, too, is probably, second or third to Lawrence of Arabia, the other film he starred in 1962. So these 3 films are easily Alec Guinness's, top dramatic works in terms of, audience familiarity, at least. So that's definitely there, too. Next up, we have Jack Hawkins playing the character of Mayor Warden. Jack Hawkins was also in the film Zulu in 1964 and Land of the Pharaohs in 1955. Then after that, we have Setsu Hayakawa playing the role of Colonel Saito. Setsu was also in the films The Cheat in 1915.
Wow.
Yeah, early on in his life, too. He was also in the film The Geisha Boy in 1958, just a year after this film released, and the film Tokyo Joe with Humphrey Bogart in 1949.
So that had to be a silent film, did it?
More than likely, yeah. And he also made a lot of exclusively Japan films and stuff. So if they even had the audio, it would have been Japanese for him, speaking Japanese the entire time as well. He actually came out of retirement to do this film. Actually, I'm sure that might be in your trivia notes later on to go. So next up, we have James Donald playing the role of Major Clipton. James Donald was also in such films such as one of the biggest World War II classics, The Great Escape in 1963.
One of my personal favorites.
Easily. It's a great film. And Quartermass and the Pit in 1967. Next up, we have Jeffrey Horn playing the role of Lieutenant Joyce. Jeffrey Horn was also in the films Big Daddy in 1999 with Adam Sandler and the film Tempest in 1958. So that's a huge timeline of career spanning works right there. I didn't expect to see Big Daddy here. Yeah. I should have read that more thoroughly when I went through this. Next up, we have Andre Morale playing the role of Colonel Green. Andre Morale was also in the film Ben-Hur in 1959, one of the other greatest films of all time.
And that's where we went on that field trip.
To the museum and talked with one of the directors there.
Yeah.
Absolutely
if you want to go back and listen to that episode we did, it was me, Terrence, Kyle, and I believe my dad all went on that trip. Yeah. Up there in Indiana. It was
a lot of fun. I'm immensely proud of what we did there.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, and he was also in the film Cash on Demand in 1961. That was Andrew Morale again. Then next up we have John Boxer playing the role of Major Hughes. John Boxer was also in the films The Blue Lagoon in 1949 and the film Frenzy in 1972. Then next up we have Percy Herbert playing the role of Grogan. Percy Herbert was also in the films The Guns of the Navarone in 1961 and the film Black Snake in 1973. Then next up we have Harold Goodwin playing the role of Baker. Harold Goodwin was also in the film Quartermass and the Pit in 1958 and the film The Cameraman in 1928. Then finally we have Ann Sears playing the role of the nurse. Ann Sears is also in the film The Flying Doctor in 1959 and the film The Cat and the Mouse in 1958. And that concludes the cast list for Bridge of River Kwai, which is kind of surprising because you see so many characters in this film.
There's a lot of extras.
There's a whole lot of extras.
A lot.
But very few characters.
Right. Yeah, it's a very powerful movie. I think one thing we need to talk about at the beginning is Alec Guinness's character in this movie. He's is he a captain, corporal, first lieutenant?
Colonel Nicholson.
Yeah. So he basically says, look, none of my men, officers are going to work on your bridge.
Yeah.
He said, all these other men can work, which I was like, wow, thanks a lot, Colonel. But he's like, it's in the treaty or whatever that none of the officers
how prisoners are treated in the war. Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, you're going to get this done. You're going to go build this bridge, and you're all going to do it because if it's not. And he's like, no, we're not.
No. Absolutely refuses. Yeah. It's not part of the rules. I will follow my rules.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
So they end up locking him in the, what they call it, the
hot box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's in there for who knows how long. I don't remember. It's a couple days.
Almost probably a week or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he ends up basically winning. And he said, look, I need your help. Which brings me to my, I don't want to say philosophical question, Kyle, but as a soldier, or let's say United States Army,
mm-hmm.
when he agrees to help build the bridge and to build it to the best of his ability, do you think he was in the right or in the wrong instead of trying to sabotage the building of the bridge? Because it's basically his fault that things go awry at the end of the movie.
You're right.
Because he sees that wire in the water and he's like, no, something's wrong. And then he realizes...
Yeah. It is an amazing portrait of his character throughout this entire film, and I believe he actually is. Alec Guinness actually is the main character as much as they kind of play William Holden as the American.
Sure,
But Colonel Nicholson is probably the main character of this film in my eye. For his he sees the bridge as an opportunity to cement his own legacy as a career, and so that's when he starts basically making sure and organizes his platoon to make the best bridge possible for the Japanese government.
He even has that plaque made that says this bridge is
made by British soldiers, and we're proud of this, and and so It's difficult to say whether or not it's morally objectionable because because it's a fictional film. Obviously, it's impossible to say whether or not would have made detrimental effort that would have made a detrimental impact on the war effort for British soldiers.
It's
if
not
that
entirely fictional, Kyle.
Well, to a degree, this is a fictionalized version of the story, kind of degree too. But it's hard to say whether or not if as a civilian at the very least, it's hard to say, or if lack of historical knowledge. Would this have made a critical difference to the war effort if he had made the bridge proper, or if he had made just a piece of crap bridge? What would that made the difference in any key management? Would British soldiers would have died just because he made a good bridge? I think it's kind of hard to say. And if he made a great bridge and the war ended, he would still have that legacy in his mind, and I don't think that's morally wrong in many scenarios too. But it is kind of questionable at a very degree, and this film does assert that as a question. It doesn't give us a clear answer in the film, in my opinion.
Well, I think at the end I think he even says, "What have I done?"
Yes,
and I think he realizes, this is what's happening now, and we're all going to die.
Yeah, and to a degree, it's like he forgot a war was going on.
Right. He became friends, I guess, with Saito.
Colonel Saito, because he came to
I think their mutual understanding of respective power for both men. I think
exactly. Yes, they show compassion for one another, basically like that, and to become friends, and still aware that they're enemies, but also a respect for one another for sure. So he gets lost in that mindset to a degree, and I do agree. By the end, when he sabotages the sabotage. That is clearly him making a mistake to a degree. But still, I understand his motivations all the way up to that point. And even then, when he has that risk of it being threatened, I understand the irrational actions he took to prevent that. And then, inevitably the realization, oh God, what have I done?
And I thought it was awful fitting that he's the one that ended up landing on the dynamite and blowing the bridge up.
The plunger. Yeah. So really, once again, excellent filmmaking on that part too, and the fact that it can be left in kind of a gray area without a definitive answer from many people, I think speaks to the quality of the film, because that is definitely the intention. Yeah. It's not the intention to answer that question so much as it is to give you that question.
But I thought we should bring that up at the beginning before I go into my notes, that he basically won over the General Saito, and they, I wouldn't say became friends, but they ended up a mutual respect and tolerated each other. He wanted to get the job well done to help Saito get promoted or whatever he was trying to do, make it look good. So, but he also wanted to take pride in his own work. So I think we should cover that at the beginning. So when we go through some of these notes, you'll understand some of the actual historical stuff that happened and stuff of this movie that happened. So here we go. At one point, producer Sam Spiegel wanted Humphrey Bogart to star in this movie.
Of course they did.
Here's looking at your bridge, kid.
To be fair, it's a movie in the 50s. Everyone wanted Humphrey Bogart to star in the film.
Or Spencer Tracy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want one or the other, or both.
Alec Guiness actually initially turned down the role of Colonel Nichols, saying, "I can't imagine anyone wanting to watch a stiff upper lip British colonel for 2.5 hours. It's a long movie. It is a very long movie.
Yeah.
161 minutes to be exact. The bridge cost $250,000 to build. Construction began before anyone had been cast.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Pre-production is a great tool sometimes.
Yep. After the final scene was shot, producer Sam Spiegel shipped the film footage on 5 different planes to minimize the risk of loss.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you lose that, you lost the whole entire thing.
Yeah, you lose the whole film. Yeah, I bet copies aren't easy to make either. It's crazy.
When this movie was first aired on commercial television in the U.S. on Sunday, September 25th, 1966, ABC preempted its entire evening schedule so that this movie could be aired in one night as opposed to 2 parts on consecutive nights. This was considered to be a bold move at that time. It was the longest single network telecast of a movie up to then, 3 hours and 10 minutes with commercials. Ford Motor Company was the lone sponsor, beating the previous record set by Sir Laurence Olivier's Richard III, which was telecast by NBC over 3 hours on March 11, 1956. An estimated 60 million viewers watched.
Oh, wow. It is incredible, that era, that you put anything on TV, basically all of America's going to watch it.
Well, especially when you only had 4 channels or 5 channels.
Yeah, exactly.
And they showed it like I remember growing up, like Stephen King's television series movies would be on, and it would be 4 consecutive nights or 3 nights, 5 nighs, and you'd have to watch them all.
Yeah, and everyone
like did. The Stand. I remember The Stand, which we should cover that. That's a great
that would be a fun time too. Yeah.
The title of the English translation of the French novel, which we talked, is Le Pont de la Rivière Kwai, was the bridge over the River Kwai.
That sounded very good.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah. I can fake it till I make it, right? It was Percy Herbert who suggested the idea of using Kenneth Alfred's Colonel Bogey March to Sir David Lean, which is the famous comment will make you vomit.
Very funny.
I was watching. This is the true story. I was watching this. I pulled it up on my iPad and I was laying in bed watching it, and I had the volume down low, and my wife's laying next to me, and something happened, and I paused it or something. She said, "What, did they get the bridge made?" I was like, she was paying attention. And I'm like, she's just listening, though. I said, "You're listening to this?" She said, "Well, I got to know." Maybe you should go through the 3 hours I went through.
3 hours, so basically listen to it like a podcast. Who would do that?
Oh, man.
3-hour podcast? Insanity.
The movie's story was loosely based on a true World War II incident and the real-life character of Lieutenant Colonel Philip Toosey. One of several Allied POWs, Toosey was in charge of his men from late 1942 through May 1943 when they were ordered to build 2 River Kwai bridges in Burma, one of steel, one of wood, to help move Japanese supplies and troops from Bangkok to Rangoon. In reality, the bridge took 8 months to build rather than 2 months, and they were used for 2 years. They were destroyed in an Allied bombing raid in late June of 1945. Toosey's memoirs were compiled into a 1991 book by Peter Davies titled The Man Behind the Bridge.
Man Behind the Bridge. I got to check that out.
That sounds good. I'm going to have to get an audiobook.
Hopefully. I'll look it up later.
Look at it. I was like, let me look.
The Man Behind the Bridge.
William Holden, then a major star, was brought into the project to provide box office appeal after Cary Grant turned down the role. He would have been great in it, too. Mm-hmm. He received $300,000 up front and was guaranteed a 10% share of the profits to be paid at a rate of $50,000 a year. This is one reason why Holden sued to stop the first American television showing of the movie in 1966, claiming it would hurt future box office receipts on which he was dependent. The lawsuit was unsuccessful, by the way. Because the movie made so much money, his shares eventually accumulated to the point where the studio was making more off the interest on the unpaid balance than Holden was paid a year. A settlement was reached where Holden was paid a lump sum and any future payments were willed to a motion picture relief fund.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of money in there, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Jimbo, I don't think there's an audiobook of that.
Maybe you can read it.
No. Who does that?
Director Sir David Lean initially wanted Nicholson's soldiers to enter the camp while singing Hitler Has Only Got One Ball, a popular parody version of the Colonel Bogey March, poking fun at Adolf Hitler and various other Nazi leaders.
Very funny. When I want to learn for that, it's hilarious.
Sam Spiegel told him it was too vulgar and the whistling only version was used instead. Sasu Hayaka wa Colonel Saito. I'm going to slaughter some of these names, so just bear with me. Edited his copy of the script to contain only his lines of dialogue. That way, he remained oblivious to the real nature of his character's fate.
Oh, wow. That's a good thing.
For the scene where Colonel Nicholson emerges from the oven after several days confined there, Sir Alec Guiness based his faltering walk on that of his son Matthew when he was recovering from polio. Guinness regarded this one tiny scene as some of the finest work he did throughout his entire career.
I will say he definitely sold that scene of just, the struggle to walk and just, clearly,
malnourished.
The last fumes of fuel he has in his body trying to push him there to the door with dignity, and he still makes it, but just barely. It's a great scene of acting.
Yep.
So.
At one point during filming, director Sir David Lean nearly drowned when he was swept away by a river current. Actor Jeffrey Horn saved his life.
Oh, awesome. Good news, Jeffrey there, being a hero.
Yep.
Man's man.
Producer Sam Spiegel bought the railroad train from the Ceylonese government. It had previously belonged to an Indian Maharaja and had seen 65 years of active service. Spiegel.
Jimbo, what's a Maharaja? What do you think it is?
Well, my dad used to say, "Oh, you great Maharaja." So I think it's like a king.
King,
I would say.
Maybe something like that.
Why don't you look it up there, Kyle?
I could spell Maharaja.
Well, you want me to spell it for you? Here you go. Just so, M-A-H A-R A-J
Maharaja. Meaning. An administrative rank in India, generally speaking, a Hindu prince ranking above a Raja.
Oh, I was close.
You really were. Awesome.
Yeah.
King is a synonym for it. Yeah.
I just remember the Three Stooges where he's like, Raja, Yaha.
Shows how uncultured I knew that I didn't know off the top of my head. I'm sure Jimbo did.
Spiegel had it refurbished, the train refurbished completely, and then had 1 mile of railway track laid for it. So, producer Sam Spiegel was also en route from Paris to London when he bought the then much talked about novel by Pierre Boulez out of curiosity. By the time he arrived in London, so what's a flight from Paris to London? How long do you think that lasts?
Paris to London.
But when he had read the entire novel, just from Paris to London, that can't be.
That's some quick reading, actually. Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's like Taylor Swift going across.
He had read the novel and decided what his next movie was going to be. He immediately flew back to Paris for a meeting with a surprised Boulez who agreed to sell him the movie rights. So it was like, oh, thanks for letting me do this book. Leave, boom, come back.
Yeah, like, wait, I need the movie back. I'm like, I need the movie rights to your book. What?
Producer Sam Spiegel, in his efforts for securing rights, casting locations, etc., flew around the world 4 times in the 3 years it took to get this movie from page to screen.
Oh, wow.
For one sunset scene, just one, Sir David Lean specifically traveled 150 miles away to capture it.
Oh, it's that one scene, too, where they're all climbing the hill, but they got the sun in the background for that one scene, just to get it in the two aspect ratios there.
Well, that's
incredible.
What you think, but I don't know.
I watched a documentary on YouTube about it. It's actually really cool. Okay. There's a scene where they're like 2 or 3 of the soldiers are walking up the hill, while the one who has his wounded foot is on the back of the mountain. Yeah, and you can see the sun in the background there, and like it was like almost impossible to get that one shot where you can have both distances and the sun in the background at the same time. So they traveled way far out to get that one shot, and it's really impressive in this movie. Yep.
Assistant director John Carrison was killed in a car crash on the way to one of the locations. A makeup man was also badly injured in the same accident. So
that's really sad.
Yeah. The Suez Canal crisis of 1956 badly affected production. Vital equipment that would normally have been shipped through the canal had to be flown out to the location instead.
I'm sure that would have been a huge expense.
There were no facilities on the island of Ceylon to process film rushes, so the day's filming had to be flown to London to be processed and then flown back to Ceylon.
Jeez.
That's an expensive trip, too.
Yeah. It's like, sounds like most of this budget just went to, like, planes back and forth.
But my question is, did he just have the one canister and send it, taking a chance? Because when it was done, he sent it on 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got a point there. That's really insane to me. Yeah, very easily could have been a world where we didn't get this film at all. Yep. Just because of all the fix.
For the scenes were William Holden, who played Shears, Jack Hawkins, who played Major Warden, Jeffrey Holm, who played Lieutenant Joyce, and the native girls, where they had to wade through the swamps. They were wading through specifically created ones. The real swamps in Ceylon were deemed too dangerous. Nevertheless, the leeches in the recreated swamps were real.
Oh, wow.
So they used real leeches.
Terrifying.
Yeah. You ever had a leech on you, Kyle?
Yes. Many times.
How was it?
Not that bad, actually.
He's like, I got one right now.
They're annoying, but they're not like the end of the world. Peeling them off was annoying too. But they're like baby small leeches, though. Like leeches you get in, I'm sure in Japan it could be a lot worse.
Producer Sam Spiegel wanted to release the movie by December 31st, 1957 deadline for the movie to be eligible for Academy Award consideration for that year. But by early December 1957, the movie did not yet have a musical score. Spiegel hired Sir Malcolm Arnold to compose the score, which Arnold completed in a mere 10 days.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
The movie was released prior to the 1957 Academy Award consideration deadline, and Arnold was rewarded with a 1957 Academy Award for Best Musical Score for his speedy effort. Impressive. How do you like that? Yeah,
just knocked out one of the best
10 days.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do it for a 6-pack. Don't worry.
Just as in Love is a Many Splendid Thing from 1955, normally hairy-chested William Holden was forced to submit to a full body wax for his many shirtless scenes in this movie.
Oh my gosh. He's like, look, listen, you're way too hairy.
Kelly Clarkson.
You are way too hairy. You are an ape.
Wow. Sasu Hayo Kawa. I get that right eventually. He was 68 years old when he was cast as Colonel Soito. Having limited command of the English language, he focused only on those pages of the script in which he had dialogue. The rest of the pages he tore out. The complete script was about 1 inch thick. Hayakawa.
Try that.
With the pages torn out, was only about an eighth of that.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
Prior to casting Sir Alec Guinness, producer Sam Spiegel tried to persuade Spencer Tracy, there you go, to play part of the Colonel Nicholson. Tracy had read the books and told Spiegel emphatically that the part must be played by an Englishman. Tracy's like, no.
Yeah.
The book has to be an Englishman.
Right.
Sir
right.
Laurence Olivier was offered the part of Colonel Nicholson, but turned it down in order to direct The Prince and the Showgirl instead. In retrospect, Olivier said that it was a sensible decision to go off and do love scenes with Marilyn Monroe rather than tough it out of the jungle of the Cylon with the director Sir David Leon.
The man makes a compelling case.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe, jungles of Cylon.
What do I want to do? Yeah.
Oh, man. The 8 months of filming began in October 1956. A scouting expedition of the real River Kwai had shown that it was an unsuitable location for filming, as it appeared to be nothing more than a trickling stream. The production finally settled on a tiny village called, forgive me if I mispronounce this, Kitulugula in Ceylon now, which is Sri Lanka. The site was remote, and a compound of bungalows had to be built for the crew. Shooting in the jungles of Ceylon was not always a happy experience for cast and crew.
I'm sure.
Living conditions were uncomfortable due to the intense heat and humidity. The unit also had to coexist with snakes, leeches, and other indigenous creatures of the area. Illness was also rampant. Added to the discomfort was Sir David Lean's tendency to take many hours or even days to get a single shot.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I bet it was miserable there, too. Plus, just you go anywhere in the world, especially in that area, you're going to get dysentery.
Let's not forget about the little African man that was sitting there and he was just the fanner.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there pulling that string of
That's his one job.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
To keep costs down, producer Sam Spiegel decided not to hire any extras, using crew members and Cylon locals instead. This meant that some of the British prisoners were really natives of the region wearing makeup to appear Caucasian.
In the background, and they were ordered on how British they looked to the back as well too. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh man,
got surprised. I don't notice it when I'm watching the film though. I don't think about it at all. Yeah, so they did a good job. Even in the 4K remaster, I'm really impressed.
When Sir Alec Guinness, as Colonel Nicholson, ruminates on the completed bridge to Colonel Saito, he and director Sir David Lean, excuse me, argued over how the scene should be shot. Guinness wanted a close-up on his face, while Lean insisted on shooting him from behind. Nevertheless, Guinness loved his dialogue and deliberately timed his delivery to coincide with the setting of the sun. That was a cool scene.
It really is incredibly impressive. And
I think that's the moment where they came to that mutual understanding. Like
the mutual understanding, too. And
it's done. You know?
And Alec Guinness is making the subtext explicit. He's saying the quiet part out loud. Like, yes, this is my legacy. This is something I want to leave, for the rest of my life. Right. And it's a beautiful scene. Yep. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the scene.
The elephants employed in helping build the bridge would take breaks every 4 hours and lie around in the water, whether the crew wanted them to or not.
Can't fight nature.
Okay, go take a bath. Mm-hmm. During shooting, Sir Alec Guinness continued to have doubts about his performance and the direction he was getting from Sir David Lean. To put Guinness at ease, Lean decided to show him a rough cut of certain sequences. One night, Lean ran over an hour's worth of footage for Sir Alec, with Guinness's wife and son also attending. During the screening, nothing was said. At the end, the Guinness family thanked Lean and promptly walked out, leaving Lean with no clue as to what to do, to think of their reaction or lack thereof. Later that night, Lean received a visit from Guinness, who told him that he and his family had decided that Nicholson was the best thing he had ever done.
Oh, that is... Yeah, if someone gave me like that, work I gave him, I would cry.
You almost cried right there when I read it.
Yeah, that is so sweet.
Yeah. Some consider this movie to be an insulting parody of British Lieutenant Colonel Philip Toosey, the real senior Allied officer at the bridge. A former prisoner at the camp stated that it is unlikely that a man like the fictional Nicholson could have risen to the rank of lieutenant colonel, and if he had, due to his collaboration, he would have been quietly eliminated by the other prisoners.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. I agree with you that, I think, in reality, those things would not come to pass. But, in the context of this film, it still holds up. It's still fine.
Rock Hudson turned down the role of Shears in order to star in A Farewell to Arms. The paratroopers in this movie were members of the Royal Air Force stationed at Sri Lanka. In order to film the paratroopers jumping from the plane, director of photography Jack Hildyard lashed himself to the wing of the British military plane carrying the paratroopers and shot the jump with a handheld 16mm camera.
That's incredibly... That's stupid. That's some daredevil behavior for sure. I'll live forever. It'll be fine.
Percy Herbert, who played the role of a prisoner of war in this movie, spent 4 years as a Japanese POW in Singapore, where he was forced to help build the Burma Railway as depicted in the film.
Oh, wow. So, real-life experience.
Yep. The Thai government renamed a stretch of the Mae Klong River in the Kwai so that tourists could go to the filming location and see the recreated bridge.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Colonel Sato really struck, accidentally, Sir Alec Guinness hard enough to draw blood in one scene. As evidence in the movie, Guinness played the scene without flinching.
It's impressive.
Kyle, just stand there. Let me slap you to draw blood and see if you flinch.
You know, if I knew it would make good content, I might be willing.
Yeah, everybody just listen to see if you can hear the blood. Amongst the survivors of the construction of the Burma-Siam Railway, there is often a lot of bitterness directed towards this movie, as real-life conditions were much, much worse, with 13,000 POWs and 100,000 civilians dying during its construction.
Oh my gosh.
The filmmakers felt depicting conditions as harsh as they actually were would be too depressing for moviegoers.
They were probably right too.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a catch-22, double-edged sword. If you give the most realistic depiction, you're gonna have a movie that no one actually wants to watch. And at the same time, though, by not having a real depiction of it, you kind of devalue the real sacrifices of those people who actually made it in time too. Yeah. We ran into the same problem with the Schindler's List and some other films too, where it's like the real life depiction is so much more sad. No one would actually sit through it. It's a problem of all art to a degree. Okay, keep on. Mm-hmm.
When Shears, Warden, and Joyce are hiking to the bridge, the packs carried by the Siamese girls are obviously empty, judging by the ease in which they carry them and how they swing on the poles. This is usually the case with any kind of luggage or backpack in movies.
Impressive.
Or packs, not backpack.
Yeah.
This is obviously included in the 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die, edited by Steven Schneider. According to Mylene Diamangao in her memoirs, no one applauded during the premiere of this movie. However, it eventually became a huge success all over the world.
Deservedly so. It became a huge success around the world. Yeah. It's sad that we didn't appreciate the film at the time as much, but I'm sure there was many good reasons as to why too. So.
This movie is included in Roger Ebert's Great Movies list. Sir David Lean and Sir Alec Guinness's third movie collaboration together. This movie has many elements of truth woven into its fictitious narrative. While prisoners were used as slave laborers to build the railway depicted, the factual commander, Lieutenant Colonel Philip Toosey, was the senior officer in this camp and risked his own life many times by deliberately sabotaging the bridge and building efforts completely different from the senior officer in this movie. So that's what we were talking about at the beginning of this
the real-life person did as expected, where it's like, you have to sabotage your enemy at all costs.
Although Jack Hawkins received second billing, he doesn't make his first appearance until 75 minutes into this film.
That's... Okay.
According to the book, the Guinness Book of Records, this movie was the top moneymaker of 1958 in the U.S. and Canada.
Impressive.
The hospital in the film, as the sign in the film indicates, was the Mount Lavinia Hospital, and really was a hospital in World War II. It became a hotel in 1947, had a distinguished history, and is still in operation. It is located south of Colombo in Sri Lanka, which is where the film was made. Although the cast and crew stayed at the government rest house in Kitagala and overlooks the side of the bridge. It overlooks the side of the bridge.
I bet it's a gorgeous place to visit even today.
Yep. The real name of the bridge on the River Kwai on the 258-mile-long Burma Railway between Bainpong, Thailand, and Thembazuziayat, Burma, built from 1940 to 1944, was called Bridge 277.
277.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom used some of the same locations as the bridge. Spielberg, who is Lean's biggest fan, was thrilled that he was shooting on the same spots.
Temple of Doom. Which one was that? Was the first one
where they ripped the heart out? The guy rips the heart out.
Oh, wasn't that the second one?
Yeah,
the second one. Yeah.
Of the estimated 330,000 people who worked on the Burma Railway, including 250,000 Asian laborers and 61,000 POWs, about 90,000 of the laborers and about 16,000 Allied prisoners died during construction.
Basically a third. Jeez.
Yep.
It's a terrible mortality rate.
The classic whistling scene.
OSHA would not approve.
The classic whistling scene is referenced in The Breakfast Club and Spaceballs. The later film is a spoof of another Alec Guinness film, which was obviously Star Wars. Here you go, Kyle. Kwai was not the only classic film inspired by novelist Pierre Boulle. In 1967, the classic science fiction film was
Planet of the Apes.
It was also based on the novel in the same name. And if you want to check out our collaboration with the Evil Never Dies podcast, Brett Stepanoff.
What an incredibly odd legacy.
I know. Yeah.
One of the greatest films of all time and one of the greatest film series of all time.
Right. All
attributed to one man for writing 2 books that I don't think he really thought that highly of.
But we do.
The Apes.
As Colonel Nicholson's men march in place during their first entry into the camp, the ground underneath their feet quickly becomes moist at the surface. This would be expected as the film was shot almost entirely in Sri Lanka, an island of only 25,000 miles in the Indian Ocean with 80% humidity and almost 200 days of rain a year.
Wow, that's miserable. So much rain. Oh my god.
Several members, and I want to take this opportunity to emphasize this paragraph that I'm about to read, is this film had several people that were actually servicemen and women, these actors. So I'm going to read these. So
not hard to find for the time.
No, and I think it's due diligence that we recognize these people. So
okay,
here we go. So several members of the cast crew were actually World War II veterans. Star William Holden served as an officer in the U.S. Army Air Forces during the war, while screenwriter Michael Wilson was an officer in the Marine Corps. Screenwriter Carl Foreman produced training films for the U.S. Army Signal Corps, while uncredited writer Calder Willingham served with the Officer of War Information after dropping out of the Citadel. Star Alec Guinness was a supply ferryman and landing craft commander during the Allied invasion of Sicily while serving in the Royal Navy. Author Pierre Boulle enlisted in the French army in Indochina and served until the German occupation of France, after which he joined the Free French Forces in Singapore, serving as a secret agent with the French resistance. Actor Sisei Hayakawa, Saito as we know him, was also a secret agent in the French resistance, assisting Allied aviators escape from enemy territories after being shot down.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yep. Composer Sir Malcolm Arnold, technical advisor Eliam Pironi, and actors Jack Hawkins, James Donald, Andre Morell, and Percy Herbert all served in the British Army. Herbert also spent 4 years as a prisoner of war in the Japanese POW camp Changi, where he was forced to help build the Burma Railway as depicted in this film. So a lot of soldiers there for the respected countries. After the scene that shows Major Warden stab the Japanese soldier who then shoots him in the foot, the large bats called Indian flying foxes that filled the sky were startled into flying by crew members firing their rifles. According to Property Master Eddie Fowley, when they started flying, they also started to urinate. In an interview, he said it was like hot, stinking rain falling all over us.
Oh, God, that's so gross. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, my gosh. No. A million times. No.
Scared them half to death, Kyle.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of the spoilers for the movie. So, the train also had a small diesel engine at the rear to make sure all 4 coaches went off the bridge after the steam locomotive fell off to make sure it continued to go.
Making there. I believe they also had like 5 cameras they used to shoot that one scene though, because of course they only have one train crash.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
And I think they lost one of them in the crash. Yeah.
The destruction of the bridge as depicted in the movie is entirely fictional. In reality, 2 bridges were built, a temporary wooden one and a permanent steel and concrete one only a few months later. Both bridges were used for 2 years until they were destroyed by Allied aerial bombings. The steel bridge was repaired and is still in use today.
Oh, wow.
On the first take of the final bridge sequence, the explosives on the bridge didn't detonate. The train crossed over safely, only to crash down a hill on the other side. Elephants, back her up!
That's funny.
After filming was completed on the exploding bridge sequence, which cost an enormous amount of money and time, rumor has it that the footage disappeared somewhere between Ceylon and London. It was finally discovered 2 weeks later sitting in the intense heat out on the runway at the airport in Cairo, Egypt. Miraculously, it was undamaged.
That's amazing.
That
oh my
is
God. Like how
lucky.
close we came to not having this film. That astounds me.
Sir Alec Guinness never saw the bridge blow up. He had completed all of his scenes and returned to England when the explosion was filmed.
Oh, that sucks. Well, I mean, I'm sure he'd glad to be out of there, probably.
Yeah. After the bridge was blown up, souvenir hunters swarmed all over the set, claiming pieces of the timber.
With the gun's good. Yeah.
I wonder if anybody ever took a piece of that and had Alec Guiness sign it before he died.
Sign it or verify something like that too. Yeah. I don't think it was that kind of destruction. I think the reality is it's good lumber we can reuse.
I don't know. It says souvenir hunters.
Okay, souvenir hunters. Okay, maybe.
After a successful stunt test for the climax, where a Japanese soldier falls off the bridge into the river, stuntman Frank Howard was swept under the strong current during the shooting of the scene. Prop man Tommy Early dived in to save him, but was also pulled under. Once they stopped struggling against the current, both men were carried to a point in the river where they were rescued. Unfortunately, Howard later died from a stomach illness while in the hospital for tropical diseases back home in England. And yes, Kyle, the last note I have here, 1,000 pounds of dynamite was used to blow up the bridge, which was filmed on 5 cameras and cost $250,000 for about 30 seconds of screen time.
Oh, wow.
So, Kyle.
Basically a tenth of the budget for that one scene.
Tell us about your thoughts, feelings on the bridge on the River Kwai.
This film's a 10. It's kind of perfect cinema to me. This is one of the best films ever made of all time. I've watched it many times. We'll watch it many times before again. Love this film to death. Every performance in it, I think it's fantastic and enjoy it entirely in its totality. There really is so much to say, but also so very little when it actually comes to mattering. Like, this is just a classic, period. It's kind of the summation of this whole film to me in many respects, and it will stay that way for the rest of my life. And that's kind of it. I really don't have that much to actually add to it before. Like, Alec Guinness' performance is amazing. Everything in it is amazing. I love this film, and that's just kind of the long and short of it. So that's where I'm going to kind of leave it there. This film's a 10 out of 10 for me, as with a few of the films we've covered pretty recently too. Like, this is a very, very strong film, and I look forward to watching it throughout my life.
Can I just point out?
No.
The last couple of films that I've picked out have been 10s, Kyle.
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard and this one. Can't get much better than that.
Yeah. Someone's playing it safe, not taking any risks. Meanwhile, I'm out there finding the amazing garbage for you all. You know,
you think
I'm
that's garbage? Wait till you hear what we're doing next week. But yeah, I have to agree. This is a great film. Is it a 10? Some days I debate if it's a 9.5 or a 10, but I'm not taking anything away from it. Alec Guinness, you know, I knew him for Star Wars. I do, yeah, back in my day. I mean, Star Wars came out the year I was born, so I kind of knew. I feel like on a personal level. But I mostly knew him for his older stuff, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was who he was.
Yeah.
But then when you sit back and you watch Lawrence of Arabia, you watch this movie, you start to appreciate more
how much like a career-long actor he was.
What an icon he was.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to look into some more of his movies. I think General Saito, I think he did an outstanding job in this too. You felt for him too, because you knew if he didn't get that bridge completed, he was probably going to die. Because if you remember the one scene where the one scene in the movie where he's like sitting there and he's like wrote his family or something, and he's got his samurai sword out there or whatever, the picture, and he's basically, you know, it's like, I guess if I die, I die, because we're not going to get this done. But yeah, I think it shows, you know, how you can be civil even in a time of war after some torture and stuff. But I mean, you got that, and then you got the one guy that was trying to lie and say that he was a high Navy guy in the Navy, and I'm not going to go back there. And the guy said, well, you're going back since you were already there, you know, or we could just turn you in and say, oh, you lied about this. And he's like...
They basically blackmail him.
Yeah, he's like, yes, sir, let's go back, which ends up costing him his life too, right? Didn't he end up getting killed?
Yeah, he gets killed as well in that operation, that commando operation.
So I think it's really well done. I think you fall in love with several of the characters. You're invested in their journey that they do. And when something like this is kind of loosely based on real life stuff, it makes you dive further in and want to check out the real life story and
give you a great respect for the film and the history it's based on.
So, great movie. I implore everybody to watch this at least once, and then make up your mind. It may become a thing, or it may not be your type of movie, but at least give it a shot. Yeah. It is considered one of the greatest for a lot of reasons. So,
So, Jimbo, do you want me to tell you what's coming up next?
I know what's coming up next.
You want me to take responsibility for this one.
Go ahead.
So this was on my recommendation because I've had this movie on my backlog for more than a decade at least. Because as I made clear in the previous podcast, though, I'm a big fan of The Long Goodbye, that film, and its director, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But I remember that I remember hearing that Paul Thomas Anderson was also a big fan of that same director, and he directed Punch Drunk Love with some visual inspirations from Long Goodbye in this film. So I'm like, I should watch Punch Drunk Love sometime. And sure enough, that's the movie we're going to put on next week. Punch Drunk Love, released in 2002. And oh boy, Jimbo and I were not prepared for what we saw, and we're going to have some pretty interesting thoughts about it. So I hope you all look forward to this next episode. It may not be a film anyone will like, but oh boy.
I don't even know if Kyle ended up actually liking the movie. I think he tolerated it, but
I'm excited to rewatch it again pretty soon, too.
Let's think.
I'm going to die for
Bridge on the River Kwai, Punch Drunk Love. We'll let the audience decide. It's not that hard.
I got to give you the two ends of the spectrum, Jimbo. You know, you got like the high end there,
Kyle,
Bridge of River Kwai. I'm going to take all the way to the other end.
Can I just tell you that this movie, or Punch Drunk Love, we've covered, I think it's almost 340 movies or something like that we've done. This movie, Punch Drunk Love, I'm talking about, it may be the worst one we've ever covered. Of all time. I have seen some bad movies. I've seen some horrible movies. I've seen some B movies that should never even been made. And this movie for me, well, I'll save my notes for next ramble.
We gotta save it for the actual podcast,
Yeah.
Jimbo. Don't worry.
So if you want to watch Punch Drunk Love and be ready for next episode, I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it. So with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut. Love that.